we're going to show you how we made this matching card and envelope set that has this nice banner and some fun fall leaves and flowers, and it just looks really nice and colorful. So this required a lot of different colors. The 4 Pentel sign pens, the gold, orange, yellow, and green. So these are not the brush tip ones, they're just the regular sign pens. And then for brown, I used the bullet tip of this Artist Loft pen. These are the same. So I used the mono drawing pen a little bit for this capital lettering, and then the tombow Funosuke for the lettering on here, as well as the tombow dual brush pen for the lettering on the thank you card. So stay tuned to see exactly how this was made, and if you stick to the end, you can get some downloadable templates so that you can make this card as well. So here's the original sketch for this card. I wanted it to include a banner and look modern, and so what I did was I first started out with the banner and the lettering, and then I added all of these fall foliage pieces behind it. Now when I transferred this design over from the draft to my card using my light pad and pencil, I ended up not tracing every one of these little pieces onto this page. I'm just going to look at this for some inspiration, but I wanted it to look very natural when I did it on the final piece. So I'll start off the same way with the banner, and then I'm actually going to be using different colors as well for all of these little leaves and flowers in the back. Okay, so for the lettering, I'm going to use the Tombow dual brush pen in black. And I have it sketched out in pencil, but I'm just going to trace over it. Now, since we're doing this inside of a banner, we have a little bit less vertical space to work with, so I'm using pretty short ascending and descending loops, like in my H and my Y. I'm not going too high or too low. Okay, so then to outline the banner, I'm going to use the Tombow mono drawing pen in black. I'm just going to outline the pencil lines. So the secret to drawing this banner, I obviously drew it freehand in my little sketch over here. So even though I have it in pencil right here, I'm going to show you how I do it. So I start off with the top line of it, and I just draw a wavy line like this. Okay, and then next I draw a parallel line right below it, so it's almost like you can pick up the line you just drew, move it down an inch, and draw it again. Okay, and then you can connect the ends of these parallel lines. I'm actually going to bring this one over a little bit more to the left. Okay, and then this line can be a little bit curved if you want. Okay, so then to add the tails, this part of the tail is going to be the same width as here, if not a tiny bit smaller. If you think about perspective, things that are farther away are smaller. But basically you're going to draw 2 parallel lines right here, and then the end of the ribbon you can make it have a little V shape like this. Connect that there, and then this is where it kind of folds in and out. So I'm going to start off with this big leaf right here because I really like how it looked in my draft. And the way that I like to draw leaves is starting with the stem and then going back in with the actual leaf, like this. So what I'm going to try to do is use one color and do designs that are kind of spread out, and then I'll start with my next color, if that makes sense. Okay, so now I'm going to do another leaf over here, and it's going to be a similar concept, but I'm going to make it pointed instead of rounded. I've got another one right here. I'm gonna make this one rounded. So I'm just doing these modern little sketches. These aren't supposed to look like real flowers necessarily. They're just supposed to look like little sketches. So then next with the orange, I'm gonna do similar style over here, but make it look a little bit more like an interlocking rose. At least in the center like this. Okay, so then just to balance it out, I'm going to add another flower shape on this side. So this one's just a spiral looking flower, like this. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to so I have 3 big elements with gold, 3 bigger elements with orange. So I'm going to move into my yellow. I'll start over here with another leaf shape. Okay. So I've got a rounded one there. Let's see, I'll do a big pointed one. Like this. Now remember, nothing is exact in nature, and especially nothing is exact in doodling, so I'm not too worried if this is looking like nature intends it to be. Okay, so now, let's see, I think I'll do another yellow leaf right here. And even though I have another round one here, I think I'll do another round one. So real quick, I just added a couple of additional things on this card. After looking at it for a bit, I darkened the outline of the banner. So instead of using the monoline pen, I went back with the dual brush pen brush tip and darkened it up a little bit around the outside to make the banner pop more. Another thing I did to make it pop more was add some shadows right here and here. And then I added just a couple more little leafy and sticks just to balance out the colors a little bit more, like this yellow part right here and some green down here. Just a couple minor changes, but I think it really finished off the piece. So this is what the envelope looks like. And you can see here I have the same banner at the top, which I'll be adding my flowers to, but I'm also going to do the address. And I wanted the address to look a little bit kind of mimic the style of this lettering, where it's not terribly formal or elegant looking. It's kind of modern looking, fairly rounded, not very tall ascenders. So I'm going to use black for the lettering because I used black on the card. Okay, I'm going to use the Tombow Funosuke black brush pen. So this is a small tip. It's comparable to the Pentel sign pen with a brush tip. So I'm trying to make it a little bit more modern, like I'm using a plus sign instead of a fancy ampersand, using this modern S. So my capital letters aren't terribly fancy. You can see it's basically just a regular capital F right here and H right there. Okay, so I have the lettering done, and I'll just go back and erase all of those pencil lines. Now I want to move into the banner. So the banner is a very similar style to the banner that was on the card, the way that it's wavy. So you can start off by drawing 2 parallel wavy lines that are a certain distance away, and then connect them like this through the little ends of the ribbon and connect it to the ribbon itself. And then I'm just going to do some monoline capital lettering for the Please Deliver To. So in my little sketch here of my envelope, there's a couple things that are different. You can see that in my final version, when I used my light pad, I changed up a couple things, made it a little bit less fancy looking, made it more modern and formal or informal, and then I moved this zip code onto this line because it's already getting pretty tall. And then I have this decoration up here. I think up here I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to use black, and I'm not going to use color up here, just to keep it a little bit simple, and I'll just use this same mono pen that I was using. So just taking another look at this card, I decided I am going to add just a couple of little hints of color here and there. So I'm not gonna like color this in, I'm just gonna add some little pieces of color in here. So it kind of looks like these were colored in, but for the most part I want the black to be what defines the shape. Okay, so I think that looks really nice. I think that looks a lot better and goes well with the card.